That's going to be fun. All right, let's get into it. Okay. Yeah, so this isn't going to be too tough, huh? All right, so opening up, remember, format, maybe I should put this at the top. Format is VWR. And this is the format for the entire series right here. I'm going to want to erase that eventually, but I'm just going to put it out there for now. So if we're looking at the board, right, these are your two picks. These are the two picks you're going to want to be going for starting Mighty Mech and Ravager. Lux snags 3 trade, and I think it's really hard to make any argument for anything except Ravager there, right? Like, yeah, that doesn't really seem like that's going to be too difficult. So what that means, though, so now Patrol Cutter comes up. I fully expect Mighty Mech, right? We all expect Mighty Mech here, right? This would. I'm really excited to see if somebody does something super nutty, though. I'm sorry. So Patrol Cutter here for 3. This is interesting. So Lux has Ravager for 3, which flips row, does 6. Going Patrol Cutter instead of Blob Wheel, potentially. Battle Station here for 3. This ain't a take. This ain't a take this early, right? 5 outpost, but does absolutely nothing for you early game. I don't think that's the take. But is surprising. I think some people might have wanted this. Yeah? Flip this thing up. Then again, we also don't know what remains in the hand. So let's continue the turn before I yak too much before seeing the information. Nope, so it was 2 Vipers. So now 4 here. Oh, pause. Okay. 4 here. 4 here, right? My take. Me, if this was me, I'm putting Frontier Ferry in the hot seat. Command Center, I think is a close second. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this here? You like Patrol over Wheel? Okay, fair enough. Good, I didn't muck it up my first. Yeah. So for me, I think Frontier Ferry is just a bomb. It's an insanely strong card. I just love this card. That could be a little bit of bias. Command Center, currently no, like the secondary ability Command Center is moot right now, right? Okay, so let's move on. Let's see what now I'm kind of excited because I could see this going either way. Ooh, he goes Command Center. I was waiting for like a Blob Wheel or something. All right, now Lux, we don't know because we aren't going to be seeing this from Lux's perspective. This is from NeoCow's perspective. So Lux, like right now, Blob Fighter coming up for him, super good. I wouldn't be surprised to see like Blob Fighter, Blob Wheel, and just go into some blobness. Already moving into damage. There is the Blob Fighter. Trade Hauler comes up and takes Trade Hauler. Instead of an Explorer. Takes Trade Hauler instead of an Explorer. Hold on. Let's rewind the tape. So we're here. We know the 2 is coming. Do you take Trade Hauler? 48-48, pretty early in the game. You have the Patrol Cutter, right? Why isn't this working? Oh, I turned it off. That's why it wasn't working. So already going into that, right? Has Patrol Cutter. So maybe Trade Hauler makes sense. Just trying to stay in that faction. Scrap is the advantage for NeoCow right now. What's up, Fuzzy? Good to see you. Then Scrap's out top 2. Two trade heavy cards, especially Trade Hauler here. Maybe worried Mighty Mech was going to hit a big row or a big because obviously, I mean, Mighty Mech and 4 scouts here. Wrecker would have been a take. You would choose not to scrap in that situation. Okay, damage goes through. Okay, so what's the take here? So we're going to be able to play this game a little bit stronger with since we have NeoCow's perspective. But we see 6, so it's what? Do you go 4-2? Do you go Frontier Shuttle? Do you go Patrol Boat Blob Wheel potentially? Whoops, I circled the... Sure, I mean, that's a fun thing to circle. I think Patrol Boat seems pretty big here as a denial. for Lux, right? Like, he's building into blue, and one scrap card alone can't fight an authority heavy deck, right? So you might be concerned. This ability's so good. 4 and 3 innate. Pretty good. So my vote would be Denial and Blob Wheel. Once again, you know, I'm not in the finals. I got knocked out in my first round. So props to them, and I look forward to seeing the strategy they chose to push forward with. Also, I scrap Scouts first if that... Oh, this will be fun. Patrol Boat. Battle Station. Like it. What do you guys think of that Battle Station buy? So, if we're to get into the head of NeoCow here, what we're seeing is he knows his opponent has a lot of damage, and he knows his opponent has a lot of authority gain. His opponent has a pretty good deck to fight a lonely mining mech. So he says, okay, I'm going to get my own authority gain. I'm going to deny you faction, and I'm going to try to slow the game down as well. Since you don't have any automatic base destruction, I'm going to soak 5, and when that comes up at the end of the game, I'm going to pop it for 5 back at you. Factions with mining mech is kind of a coup, not a coup de grace, because you could hardly call it that, but as a bonus extra credit, unlikely to happen, but we'll give it extra credit. Okay, so the play here, looking at the row, dangerous card in the Hive Queen. Will Lux be able to get up to it? I don't think so. Frontier Fairy, base destruction now. Gonna be bad if I don't actually scrap a scout in a day. Yeah, you bring it up and then you scrap the Viper. I mean, come on. Gotta mitigate Ravager, and I agree. I think mitigation there is pretty strong. I think that's a pretty good idea. Okay. Heavy hitters coming in. Sure. Okay, so 5 here. What's your first take? First take with 5, are you Orbital Shuttle? Do you feel concerned? You have 2 bases right now. You have Command Center and Battle Station. Or do you Blob Wheel, try to set that behind your Command Center or behind the Battle Station? Can be passive damage, can help you pop up for Hive Queen Leviathan. Maybe Orbital Shuttle is a bit too fluffy. Right? Maybe Orbital Shuttle is a bit too fluffy in this instance. Lux already opening up an 11 authority lead right now. So I'm interested to see what NeoCow does. You could make an argument either way, I think. You could take Orbital Shuttle and Blob Wheel. My idea here would be you take one and then see what flips and hope it's, you know, but you could go if you go Blob Wheel, you're more likely to take Orbital Shuttle. If you go Blob Wheel, you could also go Explorer, but you're taking another base and Orbital Shuttle pings off of bases. Let's find out. Goes Orbital Shuttle. Trade Pod comes up and he's going to take Trade Pod. Trade Pod's going to come up and take Trade Pod. So right here, I think NeoCow is making a very clear decision. He says there is a Leviathan on the board and there's a Hive Queen on the board, and I'm about to shuffle my deck. And I want to get those cards. That's it, right? Because that is super fluffy. Like, you're already down 11 authority and you're fluffing. So obviously the challenge is beating the Revenger, as some call it, to the punch, because as soon as that Ravager comes out, those cards are gone. So I think NeoCow is hedging a bet here, saying I'm behind in a lot of aspects. You know, I need the game to go long. Maybe I can actually fight that by grabbing one of these big cards off the row. Trade Pod came up to replace Trade Pod. Excellent. And there it is. Boom. Ravager comes out. The draw for faction, because that's fun. Stinger. Do we need to talk about how good this card is, or are we all on the same page? We all on the same page? Because, okay, I think we're all on the same page. We don't need to talk about how good Stinger is, right? Good. 3 for the Blob Wheel, and Lux right now just kind of took a pretty forceful lead with this one. Stinger, Blob Wheel, and we We are blobbing around. Okay, what's your reaction with this row? This row is being unkind to Neocow in terms of like available cheap damage, right? So Outland Station, like right here, I gotta think you want this card because it's cantrip value, right? Like at the end of the day, looking to survive, you get three authority, and worst case scenario, you know, you draw a card. Just get rid of it. Have it come up, take your 3 authority. I can't think that since we just shuffled, maybe Patrol Mech, maybe you can make an argument for Patrol Mech, but I don't see an argument for anything else here. That's just the way I'm kind of looking at this, right? That's just kind of the way I'm looking at this. We'll have to see. Goes for Patrol Mech. Goes for Patrol Mech. Look at 5 damage. Faction with Battle Station. Faction with Mining Mech. Trying to say, if I'm going to win this game, I'm going to win it off of Machine Cult because my opponent doesn't have any. Missile Bot comes up. 1 trade wasted. Neocow with a huge... This is not Mothership... This is... Right now, this is a feels bad. Like, I'm feeling from... This is rough. Looking at this, like... Oh, this is pretty rough. Mothership in an already blob-heavy deck. Grabs Missile Bot. We have 6 here for Frontier, right? Everybody's taking Frontier here, I would imagine. In spirit of, I need to defend. I'm already selling out on Machine Cult here as a chance at victory. I think that's the case. There it is. It's a 6 butt, 3 damage or 2 trade. Probably taking the 3 damage more often than not in this situation. Ravager's been really good for Lux. And this card, if this isn't like one of the most game-breaking cards, Farmship is just monstrous to get early game. Not bad late game, monstrous early game. So let's hold on. We need to check that. I want to check this again. Look at that bottom deck. Can we look at this bottom deck for a second? Can we take a second to look at this lovely set of bottom decked cards? Oh, woo! That hurts. That hurts. That's, yeah. I think we can all feel a little bit of that, right? All right. Well, that being the case, let's move on. It's looking grim for Neocow. Authority gain, damage coming out, takes Farmship, Stellar Reef here, just insult to injury. It's all there. It's all there. It's all schmoving. 61 to 29. Well, after this faction for damage here. Takes Convoy. Star Barge, Outland Station. Cantrip value once again, going 3 and draw. Are we going to see these cards? I don't even know if we're going to see these cards, right? I don't even know if these cards are going to get here. Scribe Swiper from hand. Okay, so double scrap once again, just trying to control. Lux just controlling the trade row. Just controlling the trade row with Ravager here. Blah, 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 blah. Damage through, 57-19. Completely open hand. You take Frontier here, right? I think you just take Frontier. Ooh, they're gonna take the Skiff. I mean, maybe it doesn't make that. Maybe it doesn't make that much of a difference, but you can't. I mean, your opponent's gonna take that Skiff and ride it to the bank. You're both about to shuffle. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, at this point, maybe, you know, maybe you just ride. Maybe you just ride. I'm not the one in the game. Skiff Deluxe. Pulverizer Deluxe. Why not? Why not, Lux? Why not get a Pulverizer? It's, I mean, you really, man, your deck is so damage light. It's like, this is rough. Okay, bases are out. Bases are out, okay? Is it enough? Shuffle's coming through, 2 bases out on the shuffle. Gotta go damage, gets the scrap. Cargo craft as a hope. See, here's the thing. Not enough blue to want it with all the other econ. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I think cargo craft, taking cargo craft and not taking skiff, I guess situations change, circumstances change, so I get that. In a vacuum, that seems like an interesting decision. Seems interesting. Once again, I feel like 13 to 57, and given the deck No Lux has, maybe not all, maybe the amount of like mattering in this is pretty low. You know, and I can understand that. I'm looking for the comeback victory. I don't know, you know. So scraps out, Warning Beacon in, gets a little authority in here, can scrap out to get Warning Beacon, get some damage into deck. It might be too little too late. Defense Station comes in as well, gets the discard, but Cargo Craft isn't going to actually end up connecting, scraps that out. And now we're just basically waiting for a potential combo that's going to come in and strike. This just, oh, feels bad. Star Barge also came in earlier. Just feels like a bit of, yeah, this is I think okay, so I think we just write this one off as a holy shit. Did you get enough